Happened in the 90's.
Obey me, Wario. I am your master. Mario is your enemy.
The wicked imposter Wario has cast an evil spell over Mario Land.
Don't let Mario get the 6 golden coins. Don't let Mario reach the palace.
This is the biggest, most dangerous, most challenging Game Boy adventure yet.
Obey Wario. Destroy Mario.
Don't fall under Wario's evil spell in Super Mario Land 2, only on Game Boy.
We gotta cut all this, Steve. Start from scratch. Start right now.
Hey, boys and girls, this is Happened in the 90's with Matthew and Steve G. This is a show where we talk about things that happened in the 90's. So get out your Game Genies and your Air Jordan 7s because we got big dicks. See, I got to keep you on your toes. It's not just about them. I got to keep you laughing too, buddy. You didn't expect that.
Even that, I mean, other than the big ass dick Steve slang, and all this shit happened in the 90's. So shut up. Steve, were you just swinging your dick around? It looked like you had like a blurred censored dick. Are you just flapping that thing around right now?
Hey, man, I hit amateur night every Tuesdays at the Velvet Rope. They call me
Fucking
Chocolate Rain.
Steve, the Soul Snatcher, Garrett.
Coming to the main stage, Chocolate Rain. He's going to sprinkle his dizzle and dazzle all over your panty drawers.
Get those dollars out, ladies, because he's going nude. Steve, I honestly think that's the move. You're in Atlanta. You're in the strip club capital of the world. Get out there and shake them cheeks, bro. I mean, I think we call you the Soul Snatcher. That's what your name is. That might be taken, but
I would be the scariest stripper. I'm asking for permission. Excuse me, ma'am. Like,
hey,
if you don't mind,
is this okay?
Am I being too offensive? Is this too forward? Me thumping my junk in front of your forehead.
Hold on. Sorry, the passive.
I'm not too mean about this, am I?
Don't cancel.
Am I offending you?
Don't cancel me, please.
I just need a little work on the side, if you don't mind. I'm like telling her my fucking life story. Isn't that what strippers do, though?
Tips would be Tips are not. It's not necessary, but it's appreciated, ma'am. Thank you.
So I'm taking my GRE tomorrow, and I just need to make a couple coins and get that bag.
Like that, huh? Get what you want.
Just keep dancing, whore.
Honestly, we were talking about Miss Juicy. I think that's a male stripper that she follows, and then my wife will show me pictures that Miss Juicy posts of the guy. So sorry, Steve. You can't be. You're Soul Snatcher the third, something like that.
Shout out to Miss Juicy. Miss Juicy, baby.
She's a queen of Atlanta. So I just hope that you're using your time wisely and you're going to find her. Because if you don't,
Undisputed.
Steve, that's what I want. If like in 10 episodes, I wanted you to turn the camera on and it's you and Miss Juicy in the closet, son.
I was just sitting here. Sitting in the closet, and here comes Miss Juicy. She gave me some booty.
Baby, Miss Juicy, baby. Steve, who is that? Matt, I have to go. We have to go film an OnlyFans session real quick. We'll be back in a little. See, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to give you some business advice. You're in Atlanta.
It's me and Miss Juicy, and we trapped in the closet.
That's like a 2-bedroom apartment for her.
Yeah.
Well, she's rich, so I don't even know, Steve. We're gonna have to get some funds together and get you like some Gucci, get you a little dress up.
Yeah.
You show up to Ricky
I come up with a cool
Smiley.
backstory.
What is it? Let me hear it. What's your just off the top
Yeah,
of
man.
your
So I'm flying in town. Tyler Perry got me in this new movie, How to Kill a Dark Man.
You might want to look on his IMDb. That might be the next Tyler Perry joint, Steve.
Hello.
Sell that.
Yeah, so like Medea's supposed to kill me in the final scene, right? I can't tell you too much more though.
Ooh, you sound nice. Why don't you come over to the Juiceville real quick, Steve?
And
I'm saying, Steve, it's gonna happen for you, and you're good at social media, so I expect to see Miss Juicy on one of these episodes at some point.
gotta get me
She
a itty
happened
bitty
in the
bitch.
90s. She was alive, so
Totally. And
God, I wonder what she looks like in the 90s. Just think about that. We'll move on, but I'm sure she was just a tasty little morsel back then.
Taste a little treat. Man, today we're talking about March 11th in the 90s, and we're going to revisit Bel-Air, Uncle Phil and company, Will and Carlton, Aunt Viv, Hillary, Ashley, Jazz, and a guy named Tiny. Remember that guy?
Tiny Juana Man's up in this episode.
Pretty Ricky, what they called.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this Fresh Prince. I know the last one we watched was, I think it was one of the. I don't know if it was before this.
It was the first season. Yeah,
this first season. This has to be one of the greatest first seasons of a show, because this episode, to me, this is one of. I didn't remember this one. This is one of the funniest ones that I can think that I've seen in a while. I've been rewatching this show, so thank God you picked this one, Steve.
Usually, the first season is a set the tone kind of deal. We need to give you a good feel of these characters before we proceed. And then for my favorite sitcoms, they usually don't become funny until like 2, 3. Even Martin, man, the first season was all right. It had its moments, but it didn't hit its stride, I don't think, until season 2 or 3.
Yeah, it takes a while for sure.
Yeah, man. And also, this is our first time covering Step by Step, the Lamberts.
We'll get into
Stepmom
that
Carol.
I don't remember that show. I have a lot of questions about the whole vibe of that show too.
Well, they had a hot stepmom played by Suzanne Summers, and I'd like to think she was one of those kind of stepmoms. You know what I'm saying? yeah.
Susan, talk about a thigh master, Steve. God dang. I mean, there was some of that going on, and there's a guy living in a van by the house, so I'm just questioning the whole thing. So we'll get into Step by Step. It's another classic. It's a TGIF classic, so I can't wait. You always have these other like backup shits that happen on the same day, so lay a couple of these on me. I know we want to talk about a certain rapper that had an album come out on was it on this day, or was it just?
It was on this day
Crazy.
in 1997, March 11th, Scarface releases Untouchable, featuring the songs Mary Jane and Smile.
Were you a huge Scarface fan growing up?
I wouldn't say huge Scarface fan. I was a casual fan. I like his tracks, but honestly, growing up, I never bought any of his albums. I think I bought one album when I was in my early 20s. But I was a fan of him nonetheless. I like the Ghetto Boys. They had some tracks, and a lot of people refer to him as the King of the South. I mean, I beg to differ. I know he's got a body of work that could pretty much go toe to toe with any other rapper, but I like Bun B. I'm a Bun B guy, and he's been in the game for a long time. He's a lyrical genius. He is one half of one of the greatest duos in hip hop history, R.I.P. to Pimp C. And his album Trill that I bought in 2005, man, that was the soundtrack of my 2005 autumn.
I mean, I still listen to that album.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, I still listen to that. I mean, that's a great workout album. There's a lot of good ass. I'd have to bring. I'm not good with like song names, but um, I actually because I want to give this album credit because it is one of my favorite albums of all time. But I'll also say related to that, Two Trill was also good as fuck. I listened to that a lot when I lived in Florida when I was going to film school.
Two Trill was good. I like that one too.
It was like it had a lot more like I wouldn't call it poppy shit, but there was just a lot more like different kinds of beats on it. But what was this fucking Get Throwed? I still draped up. I mean, we could basically all these songs are bangers. Pushing, I'm ballin', all this shit. Even Manny Fresh even did a fucking track on this.
Polo, fuck that heel figure.
Shout out to Manny Fresh too while we're at it. What happened to Manny Fresh? You don't hear that name out there that much.
You don't. I mean, one of those guys, man. He just kind of like, I guess he's good. He makes his money doing something.
I guarantee you he got so much money. I would hope some of those guys got so much money back in the day that they don't really need to work or do shit anymore.
I like to think that, but he did business with Birdman, and you've heard this before.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Where's Manny Fresh? He's the Invisible Negro. Oh, never heard of him.
I always used to get him and Jazzy Faye mixed up, and I don't know why. They're definitely different individuals for sure.
Whoa, Jazzy for shizzle.
That's why I hope people got paid, because I remember watching something where it was like a behind the scenes about Jazzy Faye, and he said he got paid $375,000 for one beat.
I believe it. I just never liked his beats. They always seem to bore me.
How dare you, dude? Jazzy Fenzel?
Ugh. Sidetrack Sally. Let's rewind. So in March 11th, 1990, the 16th People's Choice Awards is airing, and Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep win for dramatic motion picture, and Bill Cosby and Phylicia Rashad win for TV. On March 11th, 1991, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is airing episode 72 Hours, and we are back in the first season of Bel-Air. Will makes a bet that Carlton wouldn't last a weekend in Jazz's neighborhood, Compton. Carlton starts to fulfill the bet by not only fitting in, but getting along with the guys in the hood. Will has to find a way to stop him from going to MacArthur Park at night to hang with the crew.
It's the most fucked up crew of all time, by the way.
And we start the episode off with Carlton and his glee club. They're doing the most Perrysburg version of the Commodore song Brick House that would even have Lionel Richie walking back up that fucking ceiling. And Will and Jazz enter the living room, and they see this and instantly break out laughing.
Steve, what would it take for me to get you into an a cappella group? Other than a gun, other than that.
Hose. And are we talking 17-year-old Stephen Garrett?
Whatever age Carlton's supposed to be. I mean, he looks 40, but it is what it is. So you're a senior in high school, and I come to you. I go, Steve, I got a great opportunity for you. I want you to sing tenor in my a cappella group. Are you in? We're singing Brick House tonight in a mansion. Come with me. Are you in or are you out?
If you can show me hoes, I'm in.
I feel like there's got to be groupies for acapella. There's got to be. There's an acapella. There's like one acapella groupie that's out there just dripping whenever they sing the whitest version of Brick House possible. I mean, they're pronouncing words in a way where it's almost encyclopedic that what they're doing. It's like a computer singing the song. So
This almost reminds me of when we were in high school, man, and you had these suburban crip walkers that were singing Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and I was just like, okay, I get it. It's they dope songs, they make great music, but like,
because the boys
you're repping this shit a little too hard.
Are always hard, talk in that trash, and we'll pull your car, knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit. That's actually somebody got paid to do that, and that's unfortunate. So I feel you, Steve. I'm white, and I don't like this. Is not appealing to me. So you must have to be like an upper echelon 1% Epsteiner to be into this kind of shit, because they're dressed in blazers. They look like they're about to go like wait some sort of catering event at the fucking city hall or some shit. It looks I cannot imagine being into this at all. And then I get why. I mean, even me, if I was there, Matt Geddick, Whitey Whitington, and I saw that, I would be doing what Will and Jazz did, because I'd be like, this is insane, guys.
Bust out laughing, man.
Yeah, this is insane. So I get it. I get the shade that they threw. Now, Carlton clearly is the main guy in here. He's the head of it, but all these other white guys, I feel like we're destined to be in the Capitol riots. So I don't know what's going on in Bel-Air at this time. I don't get it.
Yeah. And they start to do the whole black card G-check, and dude, you're so not black, even though he is black. And I've dealt with this myself, being a black kid in Perrysburg, and then seeing my cousins back in the neighborhood whenever we go home, or visit my buddies in Toledo that I knew before I moved to Perrysburg. And there was this internal conflict of, man, have I been living in Perrysburg too long? Am I changing? Am I talking like this now? Like, you know what I mean? So it fucks up a young black kid's head in that situation. And in a way I could relate to Carlton in a way, because my people weren't wealthy like this, and there were no lawyers, no teachers, no, everyone worked at General Motors and had weekend jobs. But yeah, man, I like the message at the end. But before we get to that, they do a back and forth about, oh man, you're not black enough, and I am like, well, hey man, why don't you come to Compton in Jazz's neighborhood? And it's a bet. Carlton says, well, hey, I'll take that bet if you stop fucking with me and trying to like do a check on my blackness. Stop trying to rag on me. It's like, all right, man, I live for that type of shit, so make it 2 days. And so it's a deal. They say Carlton has to be in the hood chilling with the homies for a weekend. And this is so stereotypical early 90s in the ghetto, as we'll find out and see later, man.
Yeah, I like how the hood is basically a crack house.
Yo, what's up? It's everything.
Will, I can chill in the hood, okay, homie? Okay.
Yeah. So he gets this Ebonics for dummies before he gets there, and he's just kind of reading off these fucking cheat sheets.
He has flashcards like, homie, his friend. But I do want to say something about how this is orchestrated, because
oh yeah, let's touch on that.
They make this bet. So the bet is Carlton has to go to Compton, not very far away from Bel-Air. It's not a distance thing, but he has to go spend a weekend in Compton. So to do this, he basically pulls a straight up con artist of the year move and fucking inceptions Uncle Phil into signing these fucking fake
field trip
permission slips to do a field trip. So they make up a field trip. They say, this is what we're doing this weekend, so they can get out of the house. And I was just shocked that Carlton had that in him. He's like this like dweebish dude, but then you see this come out. I was like, damn, Carlton, you about to just fucking be like the next pyramid scheme guy to, it's like be one of those guys that just gets $1 billion in some sort of tax scam or some shit.
Because he's not only doing that for him, he's doing that for Will too. And I feel like, hey, bro, that should already seal the deal. Like, fuck the kicking it in Compton and chilling with the homies shit. Like, what he just pulled off, like, that was some G shit. Like, you just pulled the ruse on your lawyer dad, and your mom is intelligent. Like, they're no dummies, but you just pulled off this act. Like, you deserve a fucking Emmy for this shit.
Uncle Phil becomes a judge. Uncle Phil has to judge the truth. And this motherfucker takes years away from being a judge. Maybe he is. I think he's still like a litigator at this point, but regardless.
We're in the first season, so yeah.
And he doesn't even see, here's where I would have gone, Steve, because to share a personal story, I did a fake, it wasn't a permission slip, but I did a fake scam with my parents to get a signature. So the situation I was in, I got a Saturday school in junior high. I didn't want my mom and dad to know I got a Saturday school because I would have gotten more punishment. So I told them that there was a makeup class on Saturday and I needed them to sign the slip that got me into the class so I could get a better grade. So what parent wouldn't do that? But what the slip I was getting them to sign was my just an acknowledgement I got a Saturday school slip. So I did all this like storytelling, got the signature, got away with it, but then it just came out later. I got caught. So I've done, wow. So if I was in Carlton's situation, I would just present them and make up, like, I wouldn't make up the secondary lie of, I told you about this weeks ago, and get into his dad's head. Like, he inceptions his dad to his face and makes him believe a lie so much that he signs documents with his name that he doesn't even read. He's a judge, right. Steve.
And he played it well, man, because he had the mom on his side, like, Phil, how could you? Like, I told you need to get your head checked or something like that.
He's like, I did do that. He's like, I remember now. He gets his uncle to remember a memory he doesn't have. Like, that's the level of con artist this dude is. So shout out to Carlton. If I need to have some sort of like shady deal made and I see this, if I'm Will, I'm going, oh shit, okay. We can get him to do some crazy shit like in a couple years, you know. I'd be thinking some dastardly shit.
And by the way, I love the Carlton-centric, the Carlton Banks focused episodes, and we're still in the first season, but this is one of the shining moment episodes for Carlton.
Yeah. And
just 2 episodes prior was the Vivica Fox episode where she's supposed to be dating Will, but he's so chicken shit and acting like a beta male. And so he puts her off onto Carlton and he stands up to her shit, but she's turned on. And this right here is like a turning point for the character of Carlton Banks, I feel, because we already had the Vivica Fox episode and here comes this. Now, he said that he found the slip in the garbage can next to a banana peel. And, you know, he's just freestyling at this point, just adding more to this bullshit.
Parents feel like garbage. He's like, you guys suck. Sign these slips so I can go on my field trip and be up out of this place.
They're supposed to be going to San Francisco to visit Mark Twain's house in honor of literary science. That's fucking brilliant, man.
I mean... But he can only do this because he's such a good kid. Like, you have to have a backlog of good behavior to be able to pull this off. So
a track record.
Hey, again, I got to salute the man because as a guy who in my younger days had to sort of pull some moves to get around getting in trouble, I respect this hustle in the biggest of ways because this is a next level of chess that I just didn't have in my repertoire when I was in high school and junior high. I mean, he's going to be a great something someday. I think it's probably going to be a lawyer like his dad, because that's some lawyer shit right there. That's some scumbaggery. So,
or he might be a host of America's Funniest Videos one day.
He might. Steve, I think you just figured it out.
Come on, Marty. We have to go back.
All it is.
You have to hop in the DeLorean. We're going to March 11th, 1990.
You're going to watch videos someday.
You're going to make a time machine?
I don't know if I can do it, mister.
Out of a DeLorean?
You're going to live in the hood, kid.
I don't know, Doc. Oh,
jeez.
Oh, I don't know.
Doc Brown would never step foot in Compton.
Oh, Marty, we have to get the fuck out of here. There's guns and do-rags.
You're wearing blue, Marty. This is blood territory. Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't know, Doc. Why? I think I just saw an Uzi. What is an Uzi? I need to go back to 55.
Dude, you had that. You got Michael J for like seconds. I heard it.
It's borderline that in Shaggy. Gee, Scoob, we gotta get back to the mystery machine.
You sound like, what was the guy who did that in Shaggy's voice? Casey Kasem. You got that Casey Kasem thing going on.
Coming in at the number 5 spot.
American Bandstand. This is Casey Kasem. They had that guy until he died. He was doing that New Year's shit.
He's talking about Dick Clark. Don't get him mixed up.
Sorry, man. They're all Steve. All white people look like.
But hey, Casey Kasem is from the mean streets of Detroit, and he's not white. He's like Middle Eastern. His real name is like Burbage Kawashishkin.
Is that true?
Look him up, bro. Casey Kasem is like Apu or some shit.
Hey guys, Matt doesn't know any celebrity names, okay? It's Casey Kasem. I almost said Bob Newhart for a second. You know what? You know where? Okay, here's a weird fun fact about Casey Kasem. You know where he's buried?
Where's that?
Oslo, Norway.
That's right.
Okay, whatever, Steve. We keep getting sidetracked. Stop fucking taking us away from the hood, okay?
Sidetrack Sally. So we go to Jazz's rundown apartment where 3 of his homies are chilling. And one of the homies is played by Tom Lister, better known as Tiny Lister Jr., Mr. Zeus, Mr. Debo, Mr. Fifth Element, The Wash. Could go on. The fucking Wash, man. A legend in the game, baby. R.I.P. to Tiny.
That's crazy he's gone, man. I thought Debo was going to outlive everybody for some reason. That motherfucker is a legend. What was his name in Over the Top? Was that Zeus? Is that
I never seen Over the Top.
Wasn't that
You're talking about No Holds Barred. He was
No
Zeus,
Holds Barred. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He was in actual matches too, man.
Wasn't he a wrestler for a time? Like, I mean, if not, they wasted some. That was a waste of something. Somebody needed.
Well, no, Vince is a genius, man. Because around the time that movie came out, they started having him involved in angle in a storyline with Hulk Hogan, and to help sell the movie, which was the first WWF produced movie. So Vince is. Like he's the GOAT, man, and he wanted either way. Like if you see the movie, it's coming to my pocket, and if you see this guy wrestle, it's coming to my pocket, and if you see both, that's more into my pocket. That's always been his mentality, and that's why Vince is the GOAT, man.
Shout out Vince McMahon.
Jazz and Will, they leave Carlton to chill with the homies. And Carlton tells Tiny that he's there on a bet and he needs time to acclimate himself. Tiny is already triggered by the uses of such a big word, Applegate. That sounds like a school word or a blonde teenage daughter on a Fox sitcom. But Tiny doesn't like school words. He can't Applegate himself to them.
I mean, first of all, Steve, when we're talking about this apartment, it's a crack. It looks like a crack house. That's basically what it's like, a giant crack house. So that's, like you said, typical 90s. When you go to the hood, this is what it looked like. I was, see, if I'm Carlton, I walk into that apartment. Am I concerned that Debo is on, just there? Would I be intimidated by him? Yes. But I'd be more intimidated by this room where there was just a rabid dog that they were like making him stay in. He opens the door. They just have a room with what I'm assuming is a pit bull just in there about to kill somebody. So I don't get that. But shout out to Carlton for not just walking away when fucking Debo gets in his face. Cause I would have said, you know what? You're right. You can keep making fun of me. I'm going back to Bel-Air. Fuck this.
But hey, man, you'll be surprised the lengths guys in this situation would go to prove their blackness and to think, hey, man, I can make it in the hood. Yeah. Don't take away my blackness. And, he didn't flinch, man. He was ready with the shits.
Well, I mean, people made fun of me for being fat and I got skinny. So I guess if people make fun of you for being preppy, suburban black dude and you want to just prove your manhood, I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And so Carlton's already on an uphill slope, and he's not getting along with Tiny. And then they hear a knock on the door, and it's another homie. He's like, put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you're player from Delaware and you got on clean underwear, let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Why does everybody have to make an entrance when they walk into this? Why do they have to have like a WWE entrance when they walk in? I'd be like, yo, what's up, everybody? Hey.
Because this is NBC sitcom hood in the 90s.
Who was that guy? Because he needed a contract.
In comes another homie, and it's Joanna Man / Miguel Nunez / Ricky Fontaine / Pretty Ricky, what they call him though. And he's trying to boost some knockoff Gucci bags. And he gets an impromptu business plan lesson from Carlton Banks himself.
I'll give it to you for $20. $10, 50 cents. He's not a good salesman at all. And Carlton, that can't be Gucci, my friend.
Yeah.
This just can't be Gucci. I mean, how do they just not rob him right there? I would rob him. I'd be like, this guy must have $1,000 cash in his wallet right now. He's one of those guys.
And Will and Jazz return, and also Jazz's endless bucket of chicken wings returns to the apartment to find Carlton. And he's done a complete transformation, but not like Optimus Prime, not like Caitlyn Jenner, more like Malibu's Most Wanted. And he's now going by C-Note.
Carlton, you look like a pirate. Yo, stop fronting. You know this guy's chill. Why are you talking like that? Yo, how you playing me, Prince? What? Yo, you dissing me. Come on, man, stop it.
Motherfucking C-Note. Give
and
it
Jazz
to
even likes C-Note.
Put some respect on his name, Steve. Say it again. Right, correctly.
C-Note.
Yeah, looking like a pirate. All he was mentioning was an eye patch.
And I like that shirt. Look at that.
I mean, I gotta say, like, looking at him right there, just in that snapshot, I mean, he looks like a badass to me. He looks like somebody who would be in New Jack City. Remember the guy that was always fucking up in New Jack City?
G-Money?
Yeah. C-Note and G-Money, they dress the same. They got the same stylist, I think. He's even doing that little, giving a little kid. You gotta think with his fingers in his mouth,
Some LL action?
Yeah, just a little. He ain't licking his lips, but he's just doing that little, what's up? What's up? Check out, where'd they get that chain at, too? They just had a chain ready to go for him?
It's jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby.
He got some Gumby gold. He got his rings. He's got his little Gumby gold chain over there. That's looking...
Gumby gold?
Dude, it's not real, man. They just spray painted some fucking rubber shit. That's what it is, man.
Come on, Pokey. You want to get some knockoff jewelry?
It's going to turn... If Zach Morris wore that, his skin would turn green. It's like that ring he bought in that episode of Saved by the Bell, whatever that is. I call it Gumby gold. I don't know what it's called.
But dude, Jazz likes this version of C-Note. And the homies who have been chilling with C-Note, they love this version of Carlton Banks.
You doing my taxes, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's doing Tiny's taxes. He's helping Joanna Man get his douche marks. And he's even going to hook up another homie setting up his Schwab account.
Dude. I mean, first of all, how does a high school kid... I get he's like a savant type guy, but how the fuck does he know how to do all this shit? Like, what the fuck? I wasn't given a how to do taxes class.
It's that Perrysburg education or Bel-Air Academy.
What were they educating us in, Steve? Other than how to press a button, I guess. That's about it. Because I don't know how to do
If it ain't
what
white, it
C-Note
ain't right.
knows how to do. C-Note, finances by C-Note. I need to get my taxes done. I need to go to C-Note. I'd go there right now. H&R Block by C-Note.
And Will is looking at this shit and he's regretting it instantly. Like, man, I created a monster. So they all pass out in this ran down crack house in Compton. And the dream sequence is fucking hilarious. He dreams that Carlton comes back home and he's C-Note now. And he's like, I ain't going to college. School is for suckers. and I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
And the cops come in and he like punches them. And
that's why I was like, oh my God, Cino.
And he pulls out some nunchucks. What the fuck?
I mean, first of all, I didn't really remember this, but when I knew it really was, I was like, doesn't Uncle Phil at the end of the dream basically start trying to kill Will?
Yeah, he's trying to choke him, and then that's what wakes him out of his dream.
Yeah,
and he yells in Tiny's face like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And then we cut back to reality, and we're at the Banks residence, and Jeffrey walks in from the night before in this all leather. Looks like he just came out of Studio 54.
Dude. He's a leather daddy. That's insane.
He looks fucking. When was this? March 11th. So I don't know what the weather was like in Bel-Air, but
it's never that. There's never weather for a full-bodied leather suit, Steve.
From the hat to the shoes, everything is leather, Holmes.
Can I ask you a question? And I asked my wife this because I thought she might know, but Jeffrey comes home in his leather gear. He has a couple of sassy one-liners at the beginning of the episode too. He's always a sass man.
Yeah.
Is his sexual orientation ever indicated in this show? Does Jeffrey have a wife?
You're not going to let this go. You are stuck on this
I'm
theory.
sorry. I gotta know.
Gay.
What kind of life is he living? He doesn't have to have a sexual identity, Steve. I'm just saying, like, was it ever brought up in the show?
Well,
I'm not
before
judging.
he moved there, he was evading taxes. That's why he left England. And there was an episode where he had a date or two with the neighbor's maid, played by Anna Marie Horsford, the mom from Friday, and who played Dee on Wayne's Brothers. And so they had a thing going, but that only lasted one episode. There was also an episode in season 1 where he went on a date with Naomi Campbell, and Will started hating. And he was like, man, this dude is too old for Naomi Campbell. So he started throwing some dirt in his game. And, Jeffrey being the player that he is, he was like, yeah, man, she is too young for me. She's half my age. Here's her number, man. She said, call her.
Master Will, you can have her. Bitches be trifling.
Is it because he's English?
I just
you think all English people are soft and dainty?
This is the mathematics I'm doing. He's always sassy. He's always got a sassy reply. There's one part of the equation. Part 2, he comes home in full-bodied leather with studs, all like a getup that I would.
He didn't have studs.
It had studs, Steve. There was studs.
It wasn't Demolition. Jesus.
Dude, he walks in looking like Demolition, like the third member of Demolition. Steve can say what he wants. I'm picturing
Here comes
studs.
the butler. He's from Bel-Air.
Oh, dude, I wish I could like figure out how to Photoshop Demolition's makeup on Jeffrey. That would be great. But anyway, I don't see a guy, but maybe he's into riding motorcycles. I don't know. All I'm saying is that when I look at Jeffrey, I'm seeing somebody who maybe just floats whatever. He's just whatever approaches he's after. He's a man of opportunity. He doesn't really care, but I don't know. I guess I have brought this up in the past, and
you did.
I think in this episode, I feel more vindicated because he does come into a scene from some weird vacation he came back from in full leather. So, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But hey, you seem to be more, of the opinion that I'm bringing this up out of pocket. So I apologize.
Bunch of rubbish. That's what he would say in his English. Rubbish.
Matthew, shut your mouth.
Shut your pie hole, young Matthew.
If a bear's hungry, he eats. That's all I'll say.
Fuck. He's the king of one-liners. Leave Jeffrey the butler alone.
You're right. I apologize. So sorry. Another sidetrack.
No, we're going to revisit this again. I have a feeling.
I will.
I'm
assuming we will, but we'll push that till next time. So.
Will comes home to snitch on his cousin, and they're off to church, and they're like, hey, dude, you better go back to Compton and get my son. And Vivian's like, shit, I'm going with him. I'm getting my baby boy. And so Carlton, the plan was for him to go to MacArthur Park so he can sell these knockoff Korean Gucci bags. And he goes to Compton, back to Jazz's crib. He's like, hey, man, you got to come back with me. I can't remember what lie he made up to get him out of there.
I think Jeffrey fell and fucked his head. He was in the hospital. And Carlton's like, are you serious? Because I got to slang these purses otherwise. And also, Steve, just because maybe you've never been out here, but MacArthur Park, I don't know what it was like then, but if you go there now, you will die. So after dark, you're going to be killed immediately as soon as the sun goes down. So not a good look.
The land of gentrification hasn't encountered this park.
I think it's honestly going to go backwards now because gentrification was happening, but now homelessness-ication, where there's like homeless tents everywhere and homeless people live. I mean, everywhere. That's what's happening now. They're reabsorbing the city instead of just staying in like the 5 blocks that the cops give them or whatever. It's crazy. Downer. Sorry, Steve. Downer.
I was going to ask you about MacArthur Park. Like, what's the mentality and the reputation?
I think it's like, if you go there during the day, it's not gonna. I wouldn't like. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's a park. But it's one of those things where if you're there at night, I'd be more worried about homeless people. I don't know about gangs. I don't think gangs are like, let's go to the park, guys. As soon as the sun goes down, we're going to the park to meet up. I don't think that happens. Yeah, it's like fucking some shit like that, but West Side Story shit. But no, I mean, I wouldn't go there, but it's because there's insane homeless people there. It's not because of like gang shit. I wouldn't be selling goods there after dark. I don't know. It's like, is this like a back alley deal with like a bunch of old like biddies? Like, we need the fake Gucci. Meet us in MacArthur Park after dark. Bring the stuff.
It goes down at 9.
Yeah. You better
get your knockoff bags.
But yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't go there, but I feel like maybe Will's overreacting a little bit because here's the thing. If Carlton was just acting like C-Note the whole time and not, because he'll break character. He'll be like, yo, what's up? What's up? They love it when I say that. Like he'll like whisper aside. So I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe I would just let it go. I don't know why he immediately goes to the parents, but I gotta say, Uncle Phil pissed is one of the most terrifying things. My dad pissed was scary. If Uncle Phil pissed is like a scenario where I would probably piss myself if he's doing like the Uncle Phil big dick walk that he does when he gets pissed. Dude, he needed to be in That's some WWE shit right there. He looked like Van Vader walking into a fucking ring, just fucking about the fucking. I would be worried Uncle Phil would whoop my ass for this though, because I mean clearly they're concerned, but I feel like they are overreacting. They live in LA. You don't just get like consumed by the hood. I don't. Just let them learn the lesson. This is a lesson learned. And honestly, the lesson learned is Carlton can exist in any situation.
Yeah, man.
He's the ultimate con man.
C-Note is shining in this episode. And so before they leave the apartment, they see Aunt Vivian storming in and she's saying, you're not going to MacArthur Park and none of y'all are going to MacArthur Park. Tiny steps to her and she's like, what you gonna do? And he's like, yes, ma'am. Oh,
she's like, I don't even want to hear it.
Right.
I mean, she bitches out Debo, so not even fucking Craig's mom could do that. She just had to like sit back and watch. So Aunt Viv obviously can flex as well. Do you think if Uncle Phil was there, he would have slapped Debo in the mouth?
Oh man, nobody wants it with Uncle Phil.
Dude, that would be a hell of a match though. That's like a Titan match right there.
And this is also one of my favorite moments of Aunt Viv.
I I mean, she just comes in and rocks it. She just walks it. She owns the room. She gets her son. She gets C-Note. She's got to go deprogram him, like wash the hood off. But she's the ultimate mom in this episode. She comes and gets her son out of what she thinks is hell. I mean, he seem to be having a great time. You know, aside from the obvious, what I assume this apartment reeks like shit, because Debo's in there working out all the time, and they're, you know, I don't know. It just seems like a stinky place. Other than that, just go, you know, it seems like a good hangout. These guys are nice. You know, they might be into some nefarious shit, but once your mom comes in to get you out of like hanging out, you know, you got to leave. There's no way to salvage this at this point. So,
hey, because people know moms don't play, man. Especially when they come in with that energy, like, no, you know what's up.
She has a gun. She just like raises her shirt up a little bit. She's like, I don't think you motherfuckers want to play today. Give me my son back.
And so they drag Carlton's ass back to Bel-Air to the bank's residence, and you know, they come clean with everything. You know, this was a bet. And, you know, Uncle Phil is listening to this and he's just like, this is foolish, man. You think that gets you courage? You think that means what, you know, being brave is about? Courage is being the way you are, no matter how anyone teases you. True, and Mom. This is a very valid lesson, man, to anyone who's trying to fake the funk and trying to pretend that there's someone else that they're not, man. That is the ultimate courage. Just be you. Be the same person you are when you're around anyone. Don't switch up.
I mean, I can't say it any better than that, Steve. But that is, I was like, damn, he just fucking said it perfectly. And to Carlton's credit, the only thing with Carlton, it's like, I think is why he would, like, I would tease him, like why Will teases him. It's like, you know how people act when when you go into a restaurant, like the greeter person at the beat, where they're like, hi, how are you doing today? He has like that fake energy about where Uncle Phil's like a professional dude and he'll, you know, but he's not like that. So to me, Carlton needs to like work on that. But if I'm Uncle Phil, I'm a little pissed, but inside I'm like, you know, he owned the fucking room. He walked in there and like owned that shit. I'd be like, fuck, man, my son's a little badass. I'd be proud of him. It's not a good message, but I mean, just the fact that he did. I would assume he was like, would be scared about that, but he, you know, C-Note was not. He showed no fear at all, man. Shout out C-Note. I hope C-Note. Does C-Note ever come back?
C-Note, this was short-lived.
Man, I mean, not a missed opportunity, but what a great like veer into a different type of character for Carlton. I love this, and I mean, I agree with you. This has to be like as far as Carlton episodes, this has to be up at the top.
Easily, man. And on March 11th, 1991, Janet Jackson signs $30 million, and this is disputed because I saw on another source $40 million. So $30 or $40 million contract with Virgin Records, making her the highest paid female recording artist ever at the time. And that was a big deal. Miss Jackson, if you nasty, man. No one was bringing in that bag like that at that time.
What was the year again?
This was 1991 on March 11th.
I mean, 91, Steve. You get a 40 million that's like thinking back on that, that's insane. Especially, I mean, Michael was still obviously not he didn't have like any stink on him at this point, but I feel like it was insane to me that she actually was, it wasn't like she was always connected with Michael. She was like her own thing. And to like be that successful back then and anything, get 40 million just to make music like that, that's crazy as fuck.
Because she was a child actress. She was in Good Times. She was in Different Strokes when she was younger. And then she had a lot of breakout hits in the 80s. Control was a dope album, man, and it's timeless. And speaking of Michael Jackson, just 9 days after she signs this huge deal with Virgin, Michael Jackson, big bro, signs a contract with Sony for $1 billion.
Did you say billion with a B?
$1 billion.
Steve, what would you do if somebody offered you, what could be on the contract for $1 billion? What? Would there be anything you wouldn't do other than murder a human being? $1 billion. You get $1 billion guaranteed if you sign your name. Like, cause that's insane.
Are we still recording? No.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeff Bezos. We're gonna send this to you and only you, but that's crazy. $1 billion. It's fucking crazy.
Billion.
I read some crazy shit about him. I forget who it was, but somebody where, I mean, and this obviously he was so rich he could do this. Somebody talked shit about him and he bought the rights to their music. I think
Eminem. I posted that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's okay. Well, there you go. That's fucking crazy as fuck.
I didn't know that either, man. That's like chess game match right there.
I don't want to like give, I don't know what your opinion of Michael Jackson is. I'm not a big fan of like the extracurricular shit I'm hearing about, but that is a boss move. If you got that kind of money and you're like, fuck you, I'll just buy all your fucking music, bitch. That's crazy.
Want to talk shit about me? Marshall, I'm gonna buy your catalog. Shamona. You're not bad. I'm bad. You ain't nothing.
Man of a million voices, Steve G. I mean, that's just a crazy fucking move, but $1 billion. I honestly, from the record company or whoever pays Sony, there ain't nothing worth $1 billion. You can't deliver on that.
Dude,
fuck that.
$1 billion in 1991.
Yeah, what is that? I mean, whatever fucking inflation, that's $1 billion fucking dollars. $1 billion is $1 billion. Even if you only get half of that, I'd be like, okay, fine.
Dude, if you had $1 billion in 1920, oh my God, you could buy a state.
I mean, $1 billion, you could buy some European countries probably. There's a lot of like Eastern European, like former Ukraine countries that you could just off grid be like, I'm the king of this place now, Estonia.
Czechoslovakia. Yeah. What's in my sock drawer? Yeah. Let me buy that little fucking shit.
But I mean, fuck, man. The fucking Jackson family, just a money machine. God damn. Billion, who's like, there's got to be, 5 people in the world that have ever gotten $1 billion contract for anything?
Anything.
Maybe, probably not even 5. Now that I think about it.
Talk shit about Joe Jackson. I'm like, well, fuck. Knowing what I know now, I wish my daddy beat the fuck out of me.
Fuck. I'm not saying you should. All I'm saying is in this one scenario, it worked over and over.
It clearly did.
So, you got a couple of duds, but what's the one sister's name? The lunatic? Latoya. I mean, Latoya, she had a little 15 minutes of fame too. She was on that show where they were trying to be cops. So,
I don't remember that, but I do remember her being in Playboy.
I didn't pick that one up, Steve. I didn't pick it up, but I mean, I'm, whatever you got to do. It's hard to live up to $1 billion Michael Jackson, though. It's hard to really do anything comparatively. And Janet Jackson, in comparison, did. That chick is a fucking diva now.
Yeah, Miss Jackson, if you're fluent. On that same day, March 11, 1991, when Janet Jackson was getting to that bag, the 17th People's Choice Awards aired. And the big winners of that night, racist ass Melly Gibson and Julia Roberts win for dramatic motion picture, and Bill Cosby and Kirstie Alley win for TV. Boy, got me another award.
What did they win for? Like, what did Mel Gibson win for?
I'm guessing when did Braveheart come out?
You're right. That's what it was.
Is that what it was?
Fucked up, man. It's like fucked up when these people that are shitty people are good at like directing. So it's like he's like a guy who's good at that. Like, you don't have to be in the movie. He can make a movie. People will hire him to do that. It's like, fuck, man. Why are you such a piece of shit?
Yeah, dude. Actually, Braveheart came out in 95. So what the fuck came out? There was Bird on a Wire, Air America, Hamlet, Lethal Weapon 2. But this was 91. Why would he? Lethal Weapon. This is all in the 80s, but I don't
I don't
know.
know. I
They
can't
gave the fucker
imagine
an
why
award.
he won unless it was just like Lethal Weapon.
It couldn't have been Lethal Weapon 2. Uh, he must have been really good in Hamlet, but what racist ass Melly Gibson's like what he said was like an inception of racist statements. Like he said, "I hope you get raped by a pack of niggas," and that's not even how you
That
quantify niggas. Racist ass Melly Gibson. That's just like you. All right. On
he
the
has
same day
like
when Janet,
multiple levels though, because he hates Jewish people too. He's an anti-Semite too, because his dad, I guess, he grew up in like one of the like a Catholic religion that doesn't believe in the Holocaust. So
yeah,
he was on like some sort of camera. I think it was like a cop video camera where he was like calling a cop a Jew and like all this anti-Semitic. So this guy's just inside just a big ball of hate, I guess. That's all it is, and it's unfortunate because I like a lot of his movies.
yeah.
Do I have to stop watching? Like, where do we go here? Where we know these people are shitty, but it's like I just like Lethal Weapon 4 a lot. It's Jet Li's first American movie. I can't help it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot
Apocalypto is
of other
good.
movies to watch. I
Apocalypto
don't
is
know
a
if they
good
told you.
movie. Passion of the
I mean,
Christ, I didn't like it. I guess it's a good movie, but it's a weird thing for a guy like that to make that.
I mean, there's a whole plethora of catalogs of other movies that you could watch, though. I mean, if you
You're
enjoy the movie,
right. I'm not like pulling Mel Gibson movies out to watch. I can't even think of any other than Lethal Weapon at the moment. Not a big fan of What Women Won or whatever that whatever that one movie was he did where he could just hear women's thoughts. I forget what that was, but
yeah, that's what it is. What women want or some shit.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird when these people that you grew up watching, it's like, oh, another scumbag. Check him off the list. A lot of those in the
Yeah.
90s, Steve. We were just there was a bunch of savages making shit that we watched. It was Howie Mandel. Like, can I watch Bobby's World still? I mean, fuck. How deep do we go with this?
He's Canadian, and Canadians are cool.
They're just so nice. I mean,
They are.
who else is it? Norm McDonald. Norm McDonald, I don't know if he's nice, but he's funny. So
He's fucking hilarious. Hey, so OJ.
God damn. Well, that's crazy, man. I don't know why we keep getting sidetracked. I don't know what it is today.
Sidetrack Sally. And so while Janet Jackson or Miss Jackson was signing with the Virgin, while Bill Cosby and racist ass Melly Gibsons were getting their People's Choice Awards, Monica Seles ends Steffi Graf's streak of 186 weeks, ranked as #1. And man, Steffi Graf could go.
Was Monica Seles the one that got stabbed on the court?
She totally was. She was a beast, man. Before we had Serena, before we had Venus, we had Monica Seles, and she was on her way to be one of the GOATs, man. And that happened in the 90s when she got stabbed. I believe it was 94 by some crazy fan.
That's the only thing I remember her. I remember her for two things. She had like an insane, when she hit the ball, she would do like a crazy noise. And her getting stabbed in the middle of a fucking game. I mean, that's gotta be up there with like the Dimebag Darrell thing where while you're doing your thing, somebody comes. I don't even remember the scenario. I hate to bring it up because I have no facts, but that was a fucking crazy thing that happened. But I didn't realize how great she was. She really was a good tennis player.
She was a beast, man. And on March 11th, 1993, Anthony Davis is born. Good old unibrow himself, man. He would go on to win a championship with the Kentucky Wildcats and also win a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. So happy birthday to the brow himself, man, Anthony Davis. Yeah.
You make me feel super old because you were born way after me and you're so much more successful than me. So shout out Anthony Davis.
Man, and way taller.
Way more. I mean, he's even more handsome, and he has a unibrow. So I don't.
He has a unibrow. This isn't fair.
I mean, it's just not nice. Why? I mean, I get it. I mean, at least he could shave it, but I mean, at least there's something like I don't got any. There's nothing I can like, stand on. It's just whatever. I can't even say anything. Even him with the unibrow, Anthony, you make me feel like shit about myself. Okay.
It's his staple now. It's kind of like Michael Strahan's Gap.
I think he said he's like, I ain't shaving it.
Yeah, like I do commercials that are focused on this thing. You know what I mean? Like people make jokes of it.
The Head and Shoulders commercial after Palomalu. They're like, we've done all the crazy hair. We need to focus on this now. So maybe I'll grow my unibrow out, Steve. I'm Eastern European by descent, so I feel like I got that in me.
What all is Eastern European? What are we talking?
I mean, I feel like it's like countries that don't exist. So the shit that was around the Ukraine, like Slovakia and shit, shit like that. I can't remember the names. My dad did whatever the 23andMe shit, but it's just a lot of like German and then shit that was around Russia that's not in existence anymore. So whatever that is. But they got a lot of unibrows. I'm looking in family photos. I'm seeing some unibrows. So I feel like at the very least I can match Anthony Davis in that. So
yeah,
I'm coming for the crown, Anthony. I'm coming for
word to Erg and Bernie. Now you know who didn't get to see Anthony Davis grow up and win a championship with the Kentucky Wildcats and the Los Angeles Lakers, young Matthew?
Who?
Dino Bravo, because he died on that same day when Anthony Davis was born due to gunshots. And it's still a mystery because, they made a Dark Side of the Ring on his death, on his life and career. And he was by himself at his home. His wife and his daughter just left to run errands or whatnot. And they came home and saw that he was filled with bullet holes. And they say that it was possibly the Canadian mafia because he was involved with some cigarette smuggling after his pro wrestling days were over, man. He wasn't being invited to any more shows from Vince. He basically let him go. He wasn't finding any work back home in wrestling. And, he started turning into a life of crime.
There's like a movie in there, right? Whatever happened, we got to come up with like a theory and just make a movie based on that, Steve. That's some like Ozark shit. Cigarette fucking smuggling. That's how nice Canadians are. That's the best. That's like the most heinous crime a Canadian commits. He's like, we're gonna smuggle some cigarettes, eh? That's actually, now that I think of it, that's a storyline in a show called Trailer Park Boys. So. I don't know. Maybe they knew about Dino Bravo, but apparently motherfucker was into some straight up Marlboro Red fucking smuggling rings or some shit. That's crazy.
And the wrong people.
I mean, he was
hit by 17.
You're saying he was shot up like he riddled with like, is there any details you can give me on this? Is it just like he had like a hole in his head, or did it look like a mafia hit? Was the whole trailer riddled with bullets?
He was hit by 17 bullets in the head and torso at his Viemont Laval, Quebec home. And according to former opponent Bret Hart, he had confided to his friends shortly before his death that he knew his days were numbered. He was a nephew by marriage of Montreal crime boss Vic Catroni and was believed by authorities to be involved in his organization for some time. He is currently entombed at Notre Dame Denise Cemetery in Montreal at the age of 44. Yeah, man.
That's crazy. I mean, that's one of those things where, like I said, there's a story there, and it's I wonder. I'm trying to put this into words correctly, but like you hear these stories where it's like, yeah, he just like they came home and he was dead. It's like, how many of those? I wonder what the fuck happened. What really happened to Dino Bravo? There's a movie in this, Steve. We're making this movie.
Mystery. No one served jail time, and his death is the subject of the 6th episode in season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring.
Damn, it's Dino. Stop fucking smuggling Parliament lights. I respect it, but stop.
Sometimes you're good. And sometimes you're golden. This is good. And this is golden. Golden Grams. The good taste of graham crackers and a touch of honey. Together they're Golden Grams. Part of this complete breakfast.
You're not just good, you're golden. Now, On March 11, 1994, Step by Step is airing the episode Birth of a Salesman. Dana assesses Cody's mental state for a psychology class assignment. And forced to make a decision between college and work, JT chooses work, much to Carol's chagrin.
Right off the bat, theme song.
Step by step, day by day, fresh start over, different hands of play. Deeper we fall, stronger we stay. It will be better, second time around. Step by step, day by day, fresh start.
Time Master. I
They
keep
just don't
wanting
do
to
that
call this
anymore.
bitch Sally Struthers, and I know that's not it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Suzanne Summers, Patrick Duffy. I get it. I understand it, but no, I didn't watch this show very much, Steve. This was like, I remember watching TGIF and I just didn't pay attention to the show. I forgot all about this show. And
man, it's actually got some hits in there, man. And I wasn't a faithful. I watched it when it first came on. I kind of lost interest, but because it was involved with the TGIF camp, I was like, I got time tonight.
I feel like this was this show after Family Matters. I think that's maybe why I always remember seeing the intro, because I remember the intro.
Yeah,
But I forgot so many things that are weird about this show. For instance, Cody. Why do they got this fucking guy living in a van outside their house? What is the story there?
he's the Lambert cousin. He's Frank Lambert's. Is it his nephew or cousin?
I think it's his
He's
nephew.
a cousin of the family.
But why can't he stay in the house, Steve?
Because there's underage girls, and he can't have cousin Cody. Whoa, man.
Bro. Oh, sorry. Nip slip.
There's too many hot women in here, the stepmom included. Maybe Frank felt threatened by his younger nephew or cousin, because Suzanne Summers is still banging at this point.
Fine. She is fine as fuck.
Fine. Hey, those thigh masters doing the damn thing.
I mean, this whole I honestly the family thing is this. She had 3 daughters. He had 4 kids or 3 kids. They both have
2
3
sons and a
kids,
daughter.
right? Yeah.
No, he had 2 sons and a daughter. She had 2 daughters and a boy.
So there's 6 kids in the mix, right? With these 2 people coming together. If I'm one of these people, I'm not marrying somebody else that has 3 fucking kids. There's not enough money, guys. Like, I can't marry you because I can't afford to marry. We're not going to be able to afford this shit. And also, Suzanne Summers' son, the nerd, Mark.
Mark.
What the fuck was she dressing this kid? Was he going to like a Christian youth ministry meeting at the beginning of this episode, or what the fuck was going on? He looks like a 12-year-old bank teller. It looks insane.
Yeah, I didn't like this trick ass Mark. Why? What is it with these 90s sitcoms and having a sibling named Mark? Like Home Improvement. I'm sure there was another one. Oh, trick ass Mark.
Mark ass trick ass. I mean, and he is a true legit trick ass Mark because he looks like a trick ass Mark. And he is. I mean, the kid's a little dweeb, but regardless, I'm not going to shit on this kid too much. But I just would say if I'm Patrick Duffy or Suzanne Summers, I'm going to look elsewhere. This is a disaster waiting to happen. And on top of it, you got some weirdo living in a van outside your house. And Steve, this is in Wisconsin. And in this episode, there's snow on the ground. And I'm pretty sure they make this guy sleep in the van.
Isn't that where Jeffrey Dahmer's from? Wisconsin?
Probably. Maybe Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, we don't need to get into this too much because we've been talking about people from our past, like TV, that are shitbags. But Cody apparently became a big shitbag. So
Sasha Mitchell?
Yeah. There's some charges that, he's not going to be included in any reunions. Let's say that.
Yeah. And so we start the episode off where Cody walks into the kitchen and he's seeing that Mark and his sister Karen are whipping up a couple of low-fat turkey dogs. And Cody refers to the turkey dog as the monarch of meat snacks, the titan of tube steaks, the Schwarzenegger of sausages. And at first I thought he said the monarch of meat sacks. I was like, whoa.
I think did he say meat
Cody.
sticks?
Meat snacks.
Meat snacks? Okay, well, hey.
Yeah.
The guy's got wordplay, but I don't know. I don't know why this motherfucker is like this.
Doesn't stop him from being a creepo.
Yeah.
And Dana enters the kitchen and she needs to do a study for her psychology course. Karen can't do it because she's too busy being studied by hot guys. And Mark can't do it because he needs to be locked in his bedroom to jack off on his Furby collection. Oh, Mark. But Cody's like, hell yeah, I'll be your study. Shit, I've been trying to study them damn titties for the last 2 seasons. Carol finds a bunch of college applications stuffed under JT's bed, and we find out that JT has no plans for school. Once again, just like Tamara Maury, he doesn't like that school's not in my plans. Just like C-Note, school is for fools. It's for suckers.
I wish I would have seen this fucking episode when I was in high school. Like, I really, like, both of these episodes indicate to me what I wish I would have heard from more people, that you don't need to go to college. In fact, for some people, it's a bad idea to. So I love this. And I love JT's attitude, Steve. It's why I'm wearing this douchey button up, because I'm a salesman and I respect JT's hustle. So salesman to salesman, love what the energy JT's coming with, because some people aren't built to go to college, Steve.
Totally appreciate it. And
JT
in
just wants to
hindsight,
stack that money.
yeah, man, he wants to get to that bag just like Miss Jackson. And you know, he even says to the parents, like, forcing a kid to get an education. What kind of parents are you? Typical 90s parents, like school.
Yeah, right.
Dana's actually looking forward to the study because she feels Cody would be an interesting case, considering he's so bizarre and he lives in a van behind the house. And in comes Cody wearing a straitjacket that he got from a guy on the side of the road, which further proves her point.
Yeah, the motherfucker helped the guy escape from a mental asylum. So right away, again, why is this motherfucker don't allow him to live anywhere near your house, guys. I get why he's not in it, but don't let him even park there. That's fucked up.
Or your hot ass daughters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of weird, like, the thing that what does he say? I'm blanking.
Talking about the word association?
Yeah, there was some weird shit in there too, where I was just like, you can't have this guy with these girls. This is a bad idea, Patrick Duffy. You're about to fucking have a disaster on your hands.
So she says mother, and the motherfucker says high tension wires.
That's what it was. Like, wait, what?
Because he used to get, I guess he had bought some high tension wires for his mom, and she sat on them, and she got set on fire. And then when she says father, he says fire extinguisher. And she's like, what the fuck, bro? And he's like, well, somebody had to put the fire out.
I made a hammock for my mom, dude, out of high tension wires. But it rained that day.
It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
And you wonder why we keep you in the van behind the house.
Yeah. We're calling the cops the next time you walk in here like this. You just start grabbing hot dogs and talking about meat snacks and shit. We get what you're doing, Cody, you sick fuck.
And in comes JT, and he's geeked about his car wash job for Leo Klimke that'll pay him $5 an hour. And after he graduates high school, he can work there full time. We are introduced to Leo Klimke, and he's a shrewd businessman played by Steve Vinovic. He's another one of those faces that you've seen in various sitcoms and dramedies. He's everywhere, man. And JT sells a car without even trying. He sells this man this classic looking convertible, and he ends up making $300 commission. And to a high school kid, I mean, shit, that's enough for like 3 or 4 PlayStation games.
He literally he's never sold a thing, and he sells, like, Leo Klemke ain't selling shit. He's a high pressure salesman. So JT comes in, kills it. And I was telling my wife when we were watching, if I'm this guy, so just to give you, I don't remember the numbers, but he gives JT 3% commission on the car.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm like, I got to keep this kid. I ain't selling a goddamn thing. This kid's a fucking, just like right off the bat, killing it. He gives him like, how much money are you going to make off this fucking kid if you're just giving him 3%? I get it, but you got to lock this in. This is like once in a lifetime. This is like Tiger Woods, a salesman right here. This is once in a lifetime talent. So the thing I didn't get was they were like, well, if you don't want to go to school, you got to get a job. And he's a high school kid. And it's not like you can get a lot of jobs as a high school. You get whatever you want or whatever you can get, you know?
Yeah.
And they're all like pissy at him and they're like, well, he's not going to go to school. He's got this shitty job. It's like, well, fuck, at least he's working. He ain't like Cody's just sitting in a fucking van.
Behind the house.
Jacking off to your daughters. I mean, that's really, I think you stumbled on it, Steve. Something's going on here and I don't like it. Sinister.
And he likes this kid. JT's like a wonder kid of sorts. He's just closing deals accidentally. And JT sees this $300 and he's like, man, hey, Carol and Frank, fuck school. Okay. Before I was like, fuck school. Now I'm like, fuck school. I'm actually going to fuck school. Is there a fuck school in California, Matt? I'm sure there is. Out in Van Nuys.
I run it.
Buena Vista, Calabasas, wherever, the Van Nuys.
Van Nuys, there's a fuck school, but you don't want to go to it. If you go to Van Nuys to a fuck school, you're not going to walk away satisfied. Don't go to Van Nuys, guys. I live there. You don't want to live. You don't want to go there.
Out. In. Out.
Yeah.
In.
And
out.
You're inserting.
JT's about to sell another car to Mrs. Slezak, played by Nidra Voles, R.I.P. She was another face that I've seen on various sitcoms. She was the maid on Different Strokes when she replaced Edna Garrett. Goyles! And she was also in, what was it? She was in a lot of shit.
Was she in this episode? She's a little randy too. She's got a little.
Yeah, she likes JT's
she's got that
booty.
Dirty old lady disease. She fucks. Miss Slezak is fucking. Let's be honest, Steve.
She likes to fuck.
She does. She's about to just give it. She's about to give JT a little extra sum on top. If you know what I'm talking
Miss
about.
Miss Sleaze, if you're nasty. Now move your booty and sell me this car.
And also, this is another indication that Leo is a shit ass sale. Like, how is this guy still have a place when every time he walks up to somebody in his car lot, they're like, "Get the fuck away from me, scumbag."
He like creeps up from like out of nowhere, like fucking
like,
RKO.
Oh, hey.
Or should I say? Yeah.
It's like, oh Jesus, what the fuck are you doing? Why is your dick out of your pants? Like, hey, I'm just trying to sell you a car.
Leo Klimke out of nowhere. Oh my God. Leo, that fucking bastard.
Stop the goddamn match. Stop the goddamn match.
And now Carol is actually, she comes to JT's job because she has to put it into this shit. Like, you're not about to be a used car salesman. There's no future in that shit. And she's soon met by Leo. And Leo's just like, look, this kid's going places. He's selling convertibles. He's selling the old ladies. And I need to keep these lights on, lady. So this might be the best thing that's ever happened to him. And even JT's like, man, I'm going places. Like, I've never been good at anything. I'm a doofus fucking jack off of a ABC sitcom 90's brother. And I found my thing.
I mean,
let me do my thing.
And it's not even that your kid's good enough to just do something like that, which is, I mean, that's a pretty weird job to be doing at 18. So salute to that. But also, this motherfucker's like, I think someday I'm going to own my own place like this. I'm going to own my own. It's going to be JT's lot. And
I'll be a scumbag when I get
old. Your fucking son's a badass. This kid ain't a little chud like fucking Cody. He ain't doing like that. So JT, from like my perspective, he's a badass. I wish I could have done this when I was 18. Because if you're getting commission off car sales, when you're 18 and he's been there 2 days, he sold 2 cars.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record. I mean, definitely for Leo. So I see big things for JT, Steve. I don't know what happens to this kid throughout this show, but JT, like Carlton, steps up to the plate and knocks it out. So salute to JT. Car salesman of the fucking year.
Yeah. And we cut back to the Lambert household, and Dana gets a D on her assignment. We find out that Cody's actually normal, and Dana needs to have an assessment because she's narrow-minded and judgmental.
What kind of fucking professor throws that kind of shade into a grade? They're like, bitch, this guy seems normal. You a bitch is essentially what they wrote on the essay. So I mean, she is. She looks
how can I be narrow-minded and
attitude,
judgmental?
I gotta say that. Fucking what's her face? Shit attitude.
Stacy Keenan, Stacy
whatever her fucking
this
name
broad's
is.
name.
Carol's,
Stacy Keenan.
Carol's got a couple of daughters. They're like some fucking straight up. I see some they're not good people. I don't like the tone of that side of the family. Mark's a simp, and then the 2 daughters, both of them look like they're gonna be on some sort of Real Housewives of something at some point in their life, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the darker haired one, whatever her name is.
Karen.
Yeah, she's already she's gonna be like Paris Hilton actually, and then the other ones, I don't know. She might be like a serial killer or some shit.
But the hottest one of them all ended up being Al, even towards the later seasons, man, because she's one of those where she started off as a tomboy, but because of nature, her good genetics is just we kind of have to make her girly. She's just way too high. We can't keep putting overalls and ball caps on her.
She's not.
And I've seen pictures of her now. Man, out of the girls on this show, Suzanne Summers excluded, she's probably the hottest ones. That's just my opinion. I'm just a guy with the podcast.
Hey, I mean, Steve, maybe reach out to her, get her on the podcast. We're going to talk to her. I'm going to ask her why she was a bad person on this show. So she might not like me, but feel free.
In the final scene, we see a promo ad for Leo's used cars, and here's JT dressed as a cowboy, and he's telling the good old people of is it Milwaukee or somewhere in Wisconsin, that hey, we got used cars, we got trucks, and we even have Lulu the cow. Lulu the cow, you sick fuck. He didn't say all that, but they do have Lulu the cow.
Lulu the cow, shit. I mean, they pimped his ass out on this commercial. If I'm JT, I'm not doing this. He sings like a 30-second jingle. Fucking crazy. And he's still in high school, so he's gonna get ripped apart when he walks into class and everybody's singing that fucking song. But he's got money, so maybe he's gonna walk in some Gucci and be like, bitch, I don't care.
Gucci bucket hat, bucket hat. Yeah.
Look at this starter jacket I got on. Fuck you. I got 3 of these shits in the fucking closet. But he needs to I want to advocate for JT. You need to ask for more money. If you're selling a car every day, you need more than 3% commission. I don't know what the normal is, but if I'm Leo, I'm going to try to give this kid some more money just to keep him happy, because he's getting over on JT in that way. So hopefully JT advocates for himself, and he gets paid a little bit better, because he might be a millionaire by the time he's like 30 if he keeps selling cars like this, even at a used car lot.
Or he'll end up in the van behind the house.
Cody's going to die of an overdose in about 5 years, so it'll open up. I just got to clean up all the stains and shit. So,
but check this. On that same day when JT was trying to sell Buicks and Cutlasses for snake oil salesman, Guarding Test, The Hudsucker Proxy, and Lightning Jack and The Ref premiere in theaters. The only one I've seen was The Ref, starring Dennis Leary and Kevin Spacey.
Me too. Hold on 1 second, Steve. I gotta piss.
Magic potty, baby, your bottle's all done. It's potty training time, will be so much fun. I help you with your training dance, you make me so proud. Your potty feels like magic, then it flushes out loud.
It's help Magic Potty Baby learn to use her potty. Flush and you're ready for next time.
Magic Potty Baby, I'm so glad that you're mine.
Magic Potty Baby and her Magic Potty. No water, no mess. Batteries not included.
I saw The Ref too. That's the only one I've seen. I know Hudsucker Proxy. People that I went to film school, I remember that was brought up, and I was like, what the fuck is that movie about? You know, just because it has a crazy title. But The Ref, weird Christmas movie, I remember. And it was like, they basically paid Dennis. This was when Dennis Leary got paid to be Dennis Leary in in a movie, you know, because basically he's like a thief, I think. Isn't that this?
Yeah, it's something like that, and he holds the family hostage.
Yeah, and he
There's good
basically
old
like
Kevin
works them
Child
through.
Diller.
Oh, I forgot Kevin Spacey was in this bitch. Yeah. Well, there's another. See, this is a very like cancel culture related episode. There's a lot of people involved in this, you know, that ended up on the wrong side of that. But I remember. I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't say this is a good movie. I remember parts of it and I remember laughing because, you know, essentially a lot of this is just Dennis Leary like doing his act while
His spiel,
Spacey,
yeah.
You know, so.
And he's a cat burglar.
Yeah.
He's forced to take a bickering, dysfunctional family hostage on Christmas Eve.
People hate each other. Okay. Just a lot of chain smoking and him having that Coke energy that Dennis Leary used to have. So, you know, shout out to Dennis Leary for getting this paper because, you know, it was this. He was in another movie called Usual Suspects where he played a cop. So he was either a shitty, like a shit talking cop or a shit talking thief. And that was his deal. So.
And on that same day, when all those movies were being released and JT's trying to get his swerve on, Viacom assumes control of Paramount Pictures, which includes Paramount Television. Later during the year, Paramount and Viacom announced plans to initiate a new over-the-air television network in conjunction with United Television. The new network, the United Paramount Network, or UPN for short, is initiated during January 1995. I never watched UPN outside of Moesha. I don't remember if Everybody Hates Chris was on UPN. That was in the later years. But between WB and UPN, I was more of a WB guy.
I mean, UPN, I remember just had like shitty. Was Wayne Brothers on that, or was that WB?
No, that was WB.
That was WB.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like they just had like shit that was like too bad to be on WB. You know, I don't really remember that, but I mean, that like I feel like a lot of those mergers happened back then. Like a lot of those, like especially with like channels like WB, where they just sort of changed the name, but everything remained the same. You know,
the CW.
Yeah, exactly. They went from showing shit like I guess like black comedy shows to now they show like weird everything on it. Like the ads are guys with their shirt off. Like even it could be like Flash and it's like the same thing where it's just like a guy like, you know, this bodied up. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm watching. This is a different show. It's like Vampire Diaries, Green Arrow. Look at all the art for that. It's like all the same shit. It's weird.
The Californians.
Yeah. Hard bodies. I mean, you want to see a trash network now? MTV. Something that we love from the 90s. Look what they're putting on that channel now. There's a show called Floribama Shores that is out where I almost shot myself in the head seeing the preview. I was like, I can't. If these people are really, yeah, like, no.
I think I'm ready for a vacation.
We're back, bitch.
Wheels up. It's time to turn up.
Let's get it.
Thursday, February 25th.
We spent the last 3 summers in Florida.
To go somewhere completely different might do us some good.
Here's the movie beginning, peeps.
The BAM is back.
It's a mother party.
And the crew is hitting the road and leaving PCB behind.
Montana.
I could be a cowgirl. Y'all ready for new places? New faces.
Y'all, this is my best friend.
New revelations.
I'm pregnant. My heart literally hits my vagina.
I'm gonna be an uncle.
Unless you better take care of my baby cousin or I will f you up.
Shut up, bitch.
Remember the show where you had like a shitty girlfriend or boyfriend and your parents got to pick other people for you to date instead of them?
Date my mom or some shit.
Well, but basically, like, I remember every episode was a guy with like a shitty girlfriend. It's like, your fucking mom's fat. It's shut up. And she'd be like, they're sitting there with the parents, and the daughter's like, why don't you shut up, bitch?
Right.
Like, what the fuck kind of show is this? Who is like this?
I'm fat. You're fat, you little dumb bitch.
Yeah. And the parents are like, I don't know why you're talking to me like this. I'm an adult. And she's like, you're a fucking fat bitch. And then they come to,
like, bitch, you sitting in my house.
And like every time they did that, like the guy would still pick the shitty girlfriend. So it's like, what is this fucking relationship? Is it you just bring this bitch over to flame your parents in front of you? It's crazy.
I could only imagine what those producers were telling these kids. Like, so say that his mom is a dirty slut.
Yeah. We need something big. We need something worse than this. Say she smells like a dumpster. She smells like a dumpster. Say that. And say you smell like a dumpster, bitch. We got like they're just like, I guess this is TV, guys. It's the same people that produce the TLC shows we were talking about, Steve. It's like the same guy who produced My 1,000-Pound Life or whatever produced these shows back in the day. It's just what becomes acceptable that wasn't acceptable before. It's like, well, now we can do it with these bigger people now. Instead of these just like trailer trash people, now rich people want to be famous and will do whatever they want. It's just like more people are willing to make a fool of themselves. So it's like as soon as they realize that, they're like, oh, we got a new show. Looks like there's we got 1,800-pound people now. These people we can't even get them out of the house. We got to cut the wall out of their house to get them out. That's the show now.
Yeah, you 600-pounders are passe. Yeah. That's so 2019.
What are we supposed to do with this? You can walk, okay? We need somebody. We need somebody that's a giant puddle of human. That's what we need now.
Now, on March 11, 1997, Paul McCartney is knighted by Elizabeth II with her ugly ass. Fuck that whole family. But I do like Paul McCartney, so shout out to him. He's one of the GOATs in music, not just rock, not just pop, but all of music. It's such a privilege, I guess, to be knighted. Quite a few of those Brits have received that honor.
I think Sean Connery got knighted. Maybe.
Yeah, I believe so, Sir
I don't
Sean.
get it, man. I don't get like that. I'm not gonna get into
like what does
discussion,
it do?
But I don't get all like this royal shit that why do you still have this? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Like, does it guarantee blowjobs every morning when I wake up?
Do you get like a free coffee? Is there some like practicality to becoming a knight other than being called sir or something? Like, do you get anything? Is there a tax break? Is it just is it just acknowledging or a good singer? Or it's like Sean Connery was just, I mean, good actor. Did he need to be knighted?
Yeah.
I'll slap.
Do I get to fuck? I don't want to fuck the queen. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you probably would though. The power thing that doesn't, you're not into that.
Hell
Steve?
no, bro.
Steve,
she looks like the crypt keeper.
Steve, come give it to me, Steve. Jolly ho. Stick your tallywhacker in my bum.
Dude, she looks like the Lady Gremlin. And how dare she fucking question whether or not Meghan Markle's baby can come up to her standard? Your fucking standards are a fucking Nickelodeon after-school cartoon.
Is anybody surprised to hear all that shit? Like, people are like, they had that interview. It's like, are you surprised people that are stuck doing a monarchy are racist? It's like all these inbred British people are like, they have a book with like their family tree from like the 1700s. Pretty sure they don't like black.
Yeah, dude. They had a problem with
they're not very inclusive. So I don't know why everyone's surprised, but hopefully that'll help stop that, because it just seems weird. It's like they're like, fuck you, we're gonna keep doing this.
They've been doing it. Like, this is what you signed up for. Have you been under a rock? Are you not good with history? Is history not your thing, Megan? Like, I mean, I get it. It sucks, but like, it's the smallest violin being played right now for me, man.
Exactly. Hey.
Like,
Move to America, get famous. I mean, do it. Cool. But if I walk into there, I'd be expecting to see some like tapestries, like with some real fucked up shit anyway, like some demonic shit. And be like, okay, like this is what it is.
Man, now on that same day when Paul McCartney was being a knight, Scarface releases the album The Untouchable, featuring the songs Mary Jane and Smile, with a verse from Tupac Shakur himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked about him a little bit, but like me, I came into Scarface like when I was older. Like I never really know about him too much when I was in the 90s. So I love him. That picture, like I said, I need to replicate that with myself somehow. If I can ever get up the courage to try that, but
make it happen.
You know, we can do it. I mean, I'm probably going to do it for this episode just to be funny. So just so you know that, but
make it so.
I remember, I mean, I didn't know about him until it was like in college. So I can't say that I'm huge on Scarface. Respect, but he wasn't my cup of tea, Steve.
At the time, I mean, you know, I was a casual Scarface fan in the 90s and growing up. You know, I like the Ghetto Boys and I like Scarface. I like Bushwick Bill, Willie D. I thought they were all cool, man. But you know, I wasn't really checking for them like that. Now, the album was certified platinum by the RIAA on May 16th, 97. And in 98, January 2nd, it was certified double platinum by the RIAA.
Well, motherfucker is winning. I mean, he's in the top 10 for sure of the Rap Hall of Fame. But like
no doubt,
said,
man.
I wish I knew more about him. I remember him because I bought this thing. Def Jam did like a Scarface the movie 30th anniversary shit that I think Jay-Z was like part of like he like sort of put it all together. But I remember Scarface had a banger on that fucking album. I bought that. That's when I was still buying fucking CDs.
And on the last track, I think you might like, man, it's got Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Too Short, and it's called Game Over. That's the last track before the outro, and it's 4 minutes and 51 seconds.
Thank God. Well, see, I already knew he was a badass, but the fact he's got Cube on it, then I'm all in. I'm going to have to go listen to this.
Don Mega. Now, you know who probably didn't listen to Untouchable, released by Scarface in 1997?
Well, I know it's not Dino Bravo. I know he didn't, but who else, Steve?
Gene Roddenberry, because the creator of Star Trek, his ashes were being launched into space on that same day. So he didn't strike me as a Scarface or Ghetto Boys fan, so he probably didn't listen to him to begin with. But yeah, shout out to him, R.I.P. I was never a Trekkie, but I know that they have legions of fans, and it's like between the Trekkies and the Star Wars, it's like Bloods and Crips all over again.
Which is weird. You'd think they'd embrace each other. I didn't hate Star Trek, but it was just seemed like lamer. I didn't like any of those things when I was a kid. I liked Star Wars when I got like into my teens, and I was more like I liked it a little bit. But I remember watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. Jean-Luc Picard. I remember that. There was a couple hotties on it. Whoopi Goldberg was on that, looking okay. There was a couple hotties. LeVar Burton, the guy Data, the little weird android guy with the pale face, that guy. So Gene Roddenberry, though, to get your ashes shot up in space, that's pretty dope.
That's boss level.
That's pretty fucking dope. I mean, Hunter S. Thompson had his ashes shot out of a cannon and like displaced over this property he owned. I always thought that was pretty dope, but having your shit taken up into space, that's pretty fucking baller. So shout out to Gene Roddenberry. I mean, he had the money to do that. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you created Spock and Kirk.
How much does that cost? What do you got to do to get NASA to put your shit onto a fucking space shuttle? That's crazy.
Call Michael Jackson and make it so.
Mike, I need a favor.
You want to go into NASA?
You want to go to space? Jamona!
You want your ashes in Pluto? It's not even a real planet anymore. Oh, Jamona!
That would be amazing if that's all. Like he would be talking about anything, and that's just what Mike Jackson would talk like. He's like, "Oh, I love Bobby's World, TGIF, come on." It'd be great. I mean, I'd listen. That'd make me pay attention.
Are you still a Star Wars person?
No, I fucking got it. I like the oldest ones just because I have like nostalgic memories of it. But when they sort of did themselves a disservice making these new ones because it made me not want to go back and watch the other ones just because I don't know. I just didn't enjoy that shit. So do I still have love for Star Wars? Yes. But dude, I used to have like fucking books with schematics of X-Wings and shit, like that level of nerd, you know? So I'm not into it anymore. If they make I like The Mandalorian. Did you watch that show? I mean, that was dope, but it was just a good
I started
show.
watching it and I was going to revisit it, but
I mean, I liked it. Maybe I gave it more of a shot because it was Star Wars, but I don't know, man. They got to do something fucking like an R-rated Star Wars for me to really give it a shot. Because like the shit they've been making, I don't know. It is what it is. But I was like full so I remember me and my buddy, they released made like special editions of the original Star Wars. It was like when we were in maybe we were sophomores. We were in high school, I think. But they just re-released the old movies with like some new shit. I think they just called it like special edition, but we saw that at the Woodland Mall Theater in Bowling Green, Ohio when I was a young boy, Steve. So back then, in the 90s, all in. You throw anything Star Wars at me, book, figurine, movie, I'm watching it. Now, the fun's been beaten out of me. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't move the needle for me. So
now, do you have any takeaways or honorable mentions for March 11th, 1990 something?
Well, just my first like takeaway is that, you know, C-Note should have been a recurring character. He should have been like a Stefan Urkel type guy that showed up every once in a while just to flex. But, you know, my first acknowledgement is that Carlton will in some way be a success. Is it going to be as a con artist? I don't know. He, in this episode, showed me he could be a politician. So Carlton Banks for president, 2024. And then my other takeaway is Cody. They need it like in Step by Step. Cody they need a restraining order. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't like Cody. But JT, him and I need to be friends. Him and I would have been buddies. I wish I would have known JT, and I wish I would have learned the lesson he learned in this episode that college isn't for everybody. They really had that shit out there, and I wish I would have seen this in high school so I could have learned that lesson, but I didn't. So shout out to the writers of Step by Step for having the forward thought of knowing that college wasn't for everybody and putting it out there.
And I see that in hindsight, man. And word to C-Note and JT Lambert, school is overrated, man. If you got the right plan. Unfortunately, I didn't know a Leo Klimke in high school. I just knew a lot of pre-frat bros who loved their turtle shell, or should I say seashell necklaces.
Yeah. And also, those frat bros, Steve, just before you get into yours, shout out to Bowling Green, Ohio for getting into the news this week. Did you hear about that?
No.
They had some issues with some hazing at the college, and I believe the kid actually died from alcohol poisoning. So shout out to BG Ohio for continuing its legacy of binge drinking. It still hasn't ended.
Wow.
So.
Man, now that sucks.
That sucks, dude. I didn't mean to like make light of it, but I just thought it was funny that we brought up BG and like those frat bros. Those frat bros are still going strong out there, but maybe it's over now for them. So
they should.
Them.
And you know, there's a line, and you know, I know you got to go through the hazing. That's tradition, but man, you got to know when to fucking stop.
Yeah, it was a problem then. It was a problem now, apparently, and now maybe it's not a problem because they're going to stop it. But BG, it was fucked up then. It's still fucked up, Steve. So we're still winning. We're good. We made it out.
Now, for honorable mentions, in 1992, Quantum Leap airs the episode Roberto. And one of the things that stood out was guest starred The episode guest starred Donald Gibb. He was a veteran character actor. He's still alive, but he's most famously known as Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds! And his cameo is pretty small. It's only in the first scene, about 20 seconds to maybe a minute. And also in 1992, on that same day, The Wonder Years is airing the episode Hero. And one of the guys, I guess the hero, is played by Jim Caviezel, bringing it back around to racist Mel Gibson's. Jim Caviezel played Jesus Christ himself, the hero of heroes. Word to Ned Flanders. And I also forgot to mention in 1991 on March 11th, the game show Studs premiered. I forgot that I left that out. And I remember watching that game show. It was in syndication with my grandma. And one of the episodes actually features Ron Goldman, another icon of the 90s. And that's actually on YouTube. And I don't think throughout all of this OJ media craze, this has ever been mentioned, at least none of the coverage that I've seen. And yeah, man, the whole episode of Ron Goldman, he was one of the contestants in Studs. And it's just unfortunate what happened to him, man.
Honestly, I thought I conflated Ron Goldman with Kato Kalin, and I apologize. Ron Goldman is the man who OJ killed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Kato Kalin was a handsome guy. Of course he was on Studs.
Not guilty, by the way, Matt. It didn't fit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. See, my apologies. Allegedly, in civil court, convicted. In real court, no. So my apologies, OJ. Don't get mad, OJ. Don't get mad.
Man, what's up this week with Ain't Life Funny, Matt?
This week, we just had an episode drop yesterday. We went crazy about, there was a photo my mom sent me where I looked like a pre-Capitol riot child. So we just went over my look in the 90s, which was very questionable. Great.
I saw that.
Yeah, I showed it to you. It's a great one. So we went over that, went over a lot of shit about just our childhoods, and waxed poetic on how crazy I looked in the 90s. So that's another like cross-platform thing that we could put into here. But no, we have episodes drop weekly. Check us out on YouTube, Ain't Life Funny, Ain't Life Funny, and also on any major audio platform you can check us out. We don't have like a set date that we release. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, just because we both work day jobs. But we put it out there, y'all. So if you want to hear about how crazy I looked back then, chubby old Matt, go ahead and listen to Ain't Life Funny. But tell everybody about Over the Culture, Steve. What's up with that?
Just like Ain't Life Funny, you can catch Over the Culture on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, your mom's podcast, and we release every Sunday. And this week we're going to be talking about Tupac releasing Me Against the World, as it happened on March 14th, as well as talking about sports entertainment, movies, TV shows, and somebody's mama. This is Steve G with Matthew G, and this is Happened in the 90s.